In this lesson, we are going to learn how to run a schedule cleanse on our schedule so that we can identify and resolve problems. So, open the sample workbook and make sure that you are in the S1 Projects tab. Select the 6-month update in the Projects pane. You'll note that the button for Cleanse Schedule becomes available in the top menu in the Scenario Generation group. Now click the Cleanse Schedule button in the top menu. The Schedule Cleanser window will open that lists items that could be cleansed or improved upon. You'll see from the list on the left that we can cleanse our schedule by minimizing or removing redundant logic, hard constraints, soft constraints, remaining leads, remaining lags, links on summaries. Each item in the list will contain an explanation of what is expected to be achieved by minimizing the impact from the selected item. Also, the item list tells us how many activities are affected in each category. On the right, we have a window that lists the affected activities for a selected category. So if we click on redundant logic in the left pane, it notifies us that 2 activities are impacted by redundant logic. Those 2 activities are listed in the right-hand pane. If we look at those activities, we can choose to cleanse one or more of them. So, place a check in the box for the first activity, then look at the redundant logic heading in the left pane. In the left-hand pane, you will see that one of 2 activities has been selected. Now go back and deselect the activity that you previously selected in redundant logic. Now let's select the second option, Hard Constraints. You will see that no activities out of 4 have been selected in the right-hand pane. Click the checkbox in the left-hand heading for Hard Constraints, and you will see that it selects all of the activities in the right-hand pane for cleansing. Then in the right-hand pane, deselect activity 0160, Bid B Review. You'll note that the checkbox in the left pane has changed to a pale blue. This indicates that we have a partial selection in the right pane. Click it to clear the checkbox. Now what actually happens when we cleanse the schedule? Once we have selected activities in the different categories to be cleansed, we would simply click on the OK button in the Schedule Cleanser window. So currently we have the 6-month update selected in the left Projects pane. For now, with no activities selected, just go ahead and click OK. You'll see that a cleanse schedule will be created and added to our project list in the left Projects pane as a scenario. It will be named 6-month update scenario. Now, once we have created a scenario, it can be compared to our source project in the following modes. We can select the timeline view in the S1 Projects tab. We can select scenario comparison from the ribbon views in S2 Diagnostics, or we can select the Forensics tab for comparison. Once we are satisfied that our scenario represents a schedule that has been sufficiently cleansed, we can export our scenario as a Primavera P6 XER file. To do this, select the S1 Projects pane, then right-click on the scenario in the Projects pane and select Export as Oracle Primavera P6 XER. In the browser window that opens, you can select a location for saving your file. Select Cancel for now. Now, right-click on the scenario again. You'll note that we can also export the scenario to other formats such as Microsoft Project, etc. Let's delete this scenario because we didn't make any selections in our Schedule Cleanser window. So right-click on the scenario and select Delete. Then click Yes to confirm the deletion. Now let's work through an example. We're going to select our 6-month update in a slightly different way. In the S1 Projects pane, we have our sample workbook. Let's deselect Initial Plan and Current Schedule, so only the 6-month update will be included in our ribbon analysis. Now highlight the 6-month update and click on the Cleanse Schedule button. Firstly, click on the checkbox for redundant logic in the left pane. This will select all of the redundant logic in the right-hand pane. Next, click on the checkbox to remove all of the hard constraints. If you look at the right-hand pane, you'll note that you can drag any column header into the top bar to sort by that header group. I currently have primary constraint as my group header, but I don't want it. So I would simply drag the group header out of its bar using my mouse and drop it anywhere in the pane. If you don't have any group headers showing at the moment, you can simply experiment yourself. Now, if you right-click on any of the column headers, a drop-down will give us a list of all of our header options. You can choose to show as many or as few as you wish. Let's drag primary constraint back into the header group. Next, select all of the soft constraints. You'll see that we don't have any remaining leads, so click on the remaining lags and select all of them. You'll note that all of them will be converted into activities. Now, by default, when you select remaining lags in the left pane, you'll see that it will convert the lags to activities. This makes sense because if you remove lags, this could impact your schedule very negatively. However, you will see in the right-hand pane that you can remove all lags if you wish. In normal practice, you may decide to remove lags selectively to determine the possible impact on your schedule and the critical path. There are no links on summaries, so ignore this option. So, we've selected all of redundant logic, hard constraints, soft constraints, and remaining lags. Click OK to create our scenario. In the left-hand projects pane, you'll see our 6-month update scenario with 87 activities. The additional activities are due to our 31 remaining lags being converted to activities. Make sure that the checkbox for our new scenario is checked so that it displays in the ribbon analysis. Now click the S2 Diagnostics tab and click Fuse to view the analysis. Then in the Ribbons Views pane, let's choose our ribbon view with the scenario comparison metrics, then click Fuse. Firstly, visually compare the durations of the ribbons in the Ribbons pane. You'll see that the scenario duration is longer than the original project. The ribbon lengths are also compared in the ribbon analyzer. You'll also note that the scenario now has more critical activities, but it has 0 hard or soft constraints. Then, if you look at the scenario score, it is 100% as opposed to 88% for the original project. So although the score for our scenario is 100%, the finish date will be later than the original 6-month update. Now select the S1 Projects tab. Then in the Activities pane, place a check mark to the left of the projects. Now click the Timeline button to compare the finish dates. Click on the magnifier at the bottom of the Timelines view. Then zero in on the finish dates by dragging the left-hand boundary to the right. So here you will note the difference in finish dates. These results can then be published if you wish. Continuing with this example, click on the Forensics tab. Now we want to make the 6-month update our base project and compare our scenario to it. So delete all of the projects from the Analysis pane. Then click Create Analysis to open the Forensic Analysis wizard. Select 6-month update as the base project, then click Next. Select 6-month update scenario as the comparison project and click Next. Now just accept all of the current field selections and click Finish to close the wizard. So now you will see that we are comparing our two projects. Let's look at some of the basic differences between the projects. The finish date has slipped by 2 months. The number of activities has increased to 87 because lags were converted to activities during the schedule cleanse. The remaining duration has increased and the total duration has increased. There is no change to costs. Now let's click on the Activities button. You'll see all of the activities that were added during our schedule cleanse. Next, if you click on Relationships, you'll note all of the relationships with lags that were removed from the 6-month update. then replaced by new relationships in the 6-month update scenario. Now select the button for primary constraint. You should be able to see that the 6-month update scenario has no constraints anymore. Lastly, select total float. You'll note that in all cases, the float has increased. If you want to export scenario, you would simply return to the S1 Projects tab, right-click on the scenario and export it to the program of your choice. We don't need to save our workbook, so simply close it and do not save it. Let's work through a schedule cleanse exercise. Click the Acumen icon on the top left, then open My Workbook from Recent Projects. In the S1 Projects tab, highlight Current Schedule from the left-hand pane. Then click the button for Cleanse Schedule. In the Schedule Cleanser window, remove redundant logic, hard constraints, remaining leads, and remaining lags. Make sure that all remaining lags are converted to activities. Do not remove the soft constraints. Click OK, then click on the S2 Diagnostics tab, then click Fuse. Now select the ribbon view for scenario comparison from the bottom pane, then click Fuse. What is the new number of critical activities in the current schedule scenario? The answer? 39 critical activities. What is the new score for the current schedule scenario? The answer? The score is 96%. Now select the Forensics tab. Remove all of the projects from the analysis by clicking the Remove button in the top menu. Then click the Create Analysis button. In the Forensic Analysis wizard, select Current Schedule as the base project and click Next. Then select Current Schedule Scenario as the comparison project and click Next. Click Finish to view the selected projects. Now click on the button for Primary Constraint in the Inputs group. How many primary constraints are present in the current schedule scenario? The answer? 0 primary constraints. They have all been cleansed. We don't need to save our workbook, so simply close it and do not save it. In the next lesson, we will go through the options for the Acumen dashboard and dashboard reporting. In this lesson, we are going to learn about the Acumen dashboard and dashboard reporting. So let's open the sample workbook and then select the initial plan. Then click the S5 Dashboard tab. The Acumen dashboard view will open and display an interesting graphical array of donuts and cylinders. What we are looking at is an interactive graphical view of project status, schedule quality, metrics, forensics, or changes made over time. So your dashboard can include a whole workbook or just a single project. We have currently selected the initial plan. Now the dashboard contains two types of widgets: Overview widgets and Fuse Analysis widgets. The Fuse Analysis widgets are the same as our ribbon views. Click the white space in any of the panes to make the widget button active. Then click on the pull down to view the available widgets. Firstly, we have Overview or Summary widgets. They cannot be modified, but some of them do have drill down capability. Secondly, we have the Fuse Analysis widgets. When active, you can change the view of the metrics display. Now, the actual views displayed by the Fuse Analysis widgets are determined by the group and sort that you used in the S2 Diagnostics tab. For example, if you have grouped and sorted your fields by contractor, then the Fuse Analysis data will be displayed by contractor in the dashboard view. Now, when you look at your dashboard, you'll note that there are several different layouts that you can use. By default, we will be looking at Layout 1. You will see 3 main panes, a large pane on the left and 2 smaller panes on the right. The appearance of the layout is similar to the appearance on the icon for Layout 1. So click in the white space of the pane on the left and you will note that the widgets pull down in the top menu becomes available. Now select the pull down and you will see that the selected widget name is Logic Quality Initial Plan. This is a standard widget for displaying 4 different views for relationship types, lags, activity logic checks, and relationship logic checks. The widget cannot be modified. If you hover your mouse over the donut that shows the distribution of relationship types, you'll note that each section of the donut will highlight as you hover over it. So click on the blue Finish to Finish wedge of the donut and you will see all of the Finish to Finish activities displayed in the S2 Logics tab. Return to the S5 Dashboard tab. Now hover your mouse over the lag cylinder in the Logic Quality widget. You'll see that your mouse pointer changes to a hand. Click on lags and you'll open in the S2 Logics tab. This time you'll be displaying the lags. Return to the S5 Dashboard tab. Now click on Layout 8 and you'll see a different arrangement of the visual material. This time we are going to group and sort our data before going into the dashboard. So select the S2 Diagnostics tab and click Fuse if necessary to view the data. Now from the Fields pull-down, for the selected field choose General Contractor. Click the Fields button and click Fuse. So now our ribbons are sorted by 4 contractors. Click S5 Dashboard and look at the widget on the bottom right for Schedule Quality. You'll see that the metrics are grouped by contractor. You can use the scroll bar to view all of the metrics. So let's work through an example. Select the tab for S2 Diagnostics and click Fuse. Now we're going to sort by CAM. So from the Fields pull down, change the selected field to CAM by clicking Selected Field, General, CAM. Click the Fields button, then click Fuse again. The ribbons will be grouped by the 3 CAMs. Now select the S5 Dashboard tab. Choose Layout 5 for our dashboard. It will display 4 widgets. We're going to change some of them. In the bottom right, change the widget to Schedule Quality from the widget pull-down. So select the pane, then choose Schedule Quality from the widget's pull-down. For the View Mode pull-down, select Ribbons Vertical and make sure to deselect the Auto Fit button, or the metrics may be very cramped. You'll see the Schedule Quality metrics will be displayed. You'll note that your 3 CAMs are grouped by metric. Use the scroll bar to view them all. Now from the View Mode pull-down, change the View Mode to Metrics Vertical and deselect Auto Fit. This time you'll see all of your metrics grouped by CAM. You can scroll to the right to view them all. Now you can copy the whole dashboard or just one of the views to the clipboard for pasting into, say, Excel or PowerPoint. To copy the whole dashboard to the clipboard, select the Publish button for Copy to Clipboard. The button will turn pale blue while it is copying to the clipboard. To test, open a blank Excel file and paste into the file. To copy one of the dashboard views to the clipboard, click on the border of the required view to make it active. In the Settings group, click the Copy button. The button will turn pale blue while it is copying to the clipboard. To test, open a blank Excel file and paste into the file. We don't need to save our workbook, so simply close it and do not save it. Now, let's work through an exercise for the dashboard. Firstly, open your workbook called My Workbook from Recent Workbooks. Highlight the current schedule. Then click the S2 Diagnostic tab. Let's group our projects by location. So from the Fields pull-down, select Selected Field, General, Location. Then click the Fields button and click Fuse. Now click the S5 Dashboard tab. Then choose Layout 11 from the Layouts. Select the top right pane and change the widget to Forensics. Scroll up and down to view the forensics data. In the bottom left pane, Schedule Quality, change the bars to Metrics Horizontal. So, click on the View Mode pull-down and select Metrics Horizontal. Scroll up and down to view the Schedule Quality metrics data for each location. With practice, you'll find the dashboard is a very versatile way of presenting your data. We don't need to save our workbook, so simply close it and do not save it. In the next lesson, we will learn about the different ways of publishing and reporting our results. In this lesson, we are going to learn about our options for reporting and publishing our results. Open the sample workbook and then click the S2 Diagnostics tab. Click Fuse to view the analysis details. Now, you would have noticed that most of the tabs have a publishing or reporting option. This is very useful if you wish to publish data to, say, Excel or PowerPoint for further analysis or presentation. We are going to focus on the publishing and reporting features in the S2 Diagnostics tab. From our Fuse diagnostic analysis, we can publish the following reports: executive briefing in either Word or PDF format, ribbon view report in Excel, the Fuse analyst report in Excel, Fuse summary metric report in Excel, Fuse detailed metric report in Excel. Copy the activity browser, charts or analyzer workspace to the clipboard. Create custom reports for third-party applications. So let's look at these publishing options in order. The first report that we're going to examine is the Executive Briefing Report. This report consolidates all the analysis results and information. It is compiled from the metrics that are present in the ribbon view and includes group and sort or filters. You can elect to export the executive briefing as either a Word or PDF file. Now, the executive briefing layout is derived from a built-in template in XML file format. It is located in the Acumen Fuse templates folder and includes 3 sections. Workbook. This is a summary of the overall analysis, including cost and schedule characteristics. Project. This is a project-level summary, including the characteristics, status, and areas of concern. And then ribbon. This is a detailed analysis of each ribbon, including trending. We can create our own template by first copying the existing executive briefing template to a new file and renaming the template for our own use. Although you can edit certain elements in the standard executive briefing template, it is good policy to always work on a copy. Once you have created your new template, you can open it with an HTML editor so that you can make your desired changes. Once you have created your new template, you can set its default location in the Deltek Acumen options under Templates. Let's have a look at an example. Open your workbook called My Workbook from recent workbooks. Don't save the previous workbook. Then select the S2 Diagnostics tab and click Fuse. Now select the Fields drop-down and group the fields by location. So choose Selected Field, General Location from the drop-down. Then click the Fields button and click Fuse. Now we have our ribbons sorted by location. We want to publish our results as an executive briefing. So click the Publish button and select Executive Briefing to PDF. A browser window will open where you can save your file. Create a new folder and name it My Workbook. Click Open, then click Save to save your executive briefing to the new folder. Now you will be able to view the file using a PDF reader. Here is a typical example of an executive briefing. Let's look at our next option. So click the Publish pull-down. The To Microsoft Excel option allows us to publish our current ribbon view to an Excel file. So click on this option and your browser window will open. Call it Ribbon View and save it to your My Workbook folder. Here is a typical example of what the ribbon view will look like. Next, we'll look at the Fuse Analyst Report. In this report, you can publish your current ribbon view, including activity details, to a Microsoft Excel file. Each ribbon grouping, intersection, and phase grouping is saved to its own individual worksheet within the Excel file. So, after you have run an analysis, you can export the analysis results to Excel. Now we'll look at a typical exercise for the analyst report. Make sure that your My Workbook is the current open workbook. Now, ribbonize by location. To do this, we would make sure that in the Fields drop-down, you choose Selected Field, General, Location. Now click the Fields button and click Fuse. You'll see that the ribbons are grouped by location. Next, click on Publish and select Fuse Analyst Report. In the browser window that opens, save the Excel file. Name it as My Workbook Analyst Report. Now open your Excel file and you will see that the first tab is the ribbon view, followed by Ribbon Analysis. Click on Domestic 1 and you will see all of the metrics for domestic in tabular format. After the different locations, there will be a tab for phase analysis, followed by metrics for each phase. You can now return to the S2 Diagnostics view. Next, we will briefly mention the Summary Metric Report. So with this option, we are able to publish a summary of all metrics that have the Publish Metric option selected on the Metrics tab. However, please note the following. You will only be able to publish a summary for the metrics that we have the option selected for Publish Metric checked in the Metrics tab. We have not yet covered metrics in detail, but for now, just select the Metrics tab. In the left pane, make sure that the metric for missing logic is selected. Then on the right-hand side of the top horizontal pane, you will see the option to select whether to publish the metric. For missing logic, the option is checked. But if you deselect it, the metric details will not appear in the Fuse Summary Metric Report. In the S2 Diagnostics tab, click Publish, then select Fuse Summary Metric Report. This will publish a drill-down analysis of the selected metrics, DCMA. We won't save this report, so just click Cancel. Next, the Fuse Detailed Metric Report, DCMA, will publish a detailed analysis of all metrics that have the Publish Metric option selected on the Metrics tab. The results will be published to an Excel workbook. Each project has its own tab with control accounts, work packages, and activities listed down the left, and all metrics across the top. We are not covering this option in this course. You can use the Detailed Reports tab in Metrics to specify whether you want a trip metric to display an X or a specific field value. For example, you can set an activity metric to display an X so that you know it tripped, or you may want to display a budget associated with the activity or control account that caused it to trip. You can set this individually for each metric. When you select the report, a Detailed Metric Report Options dialog box displays, allowing you to select whether you want to include control accounts and/or work packages and/or activities in the report. Let's move on to the Copy to Clipboard option. Click the S2 Diagnostic tab and make sure that our ribbons are still grouped by location. For now, just select the heading for the domestic ribbon so that its activities appear in the activity browser. Click the Publish button and select Copy to Clipboard. You'll see that you have a number of options: All, Intersection Chart, Phase Chart, Ribbon Chart, or Activity Browser. Now, when the ribbon view is copied to the clipboard, it is a screenshot of exactly what is in the ribbon view. It can then be pasted into any other application such as Excel or PowerPoint to create a custom report. Currently, you'll note that the only options that are available are All and Activity Browser. The other options are grayed out. So why is this? The reason for this is that the other three options are for charts. So let's close this pull down and then click the Charts button for phases from the top menu. Don't worry about the settings. A graph will now appear in the phase analyzer. I have only selected missing logic. Now go to the Publish button and click Copy to Clipboard again, and you will see that the option to copy the phase chart is available. So here are the three images that I copied to the clipboard and then pasted into an Excel file. All, Activity Browser, and Phase Chart. The last option allows us to create custom reports using an Application Program Interface, or API. The Deltek Acumen API allows other third-party applications to use Fuse analysis data for any purpose, including reporting. So the data within Acumen Fuse can be used with many current software packages such as Word, Excel, SAP Crystal Reports, SharePoint, etc. We will not be covering this option in this course. A comprehensive API user guide is available as part of the Acumen software package. Now we can move on to benchmarking in the next lesson. We don't need to save our workbook, so simply close it and do not save it.